Good afternoon, Ms. Benjumea, Isabel. Thank you for being here. To talk about the European Parliamentary Financial Services Forum, what inspired you to take the co-chair of the steering committee of the EPFSF?
Well, good afternoon. It was an honor to receive the invitation to become the co-chair of the steering committee. And the most important thing I've always believed in is that we need to build a bridge between the financial services main actors and the policymakers. Last mandate, while I was involved in different dossiers, I found out how important was it to have this dialogue, to understand the needs of the industry, their concerns, and to be able to build this friendly relationship where we can solve our doubts and help each other to deliver the right framework so that we can compete, that we can grow, that we can attract investments.
You clearly state also the role of policymakers and financial service stakeholders, but we see that broader. We see that not only financial services firms, but also consumer organizations and others, because the dialogue on what kind of financial services we want is so important.
Indeed. It's not only the big players, it's understanding everybody involved, from the small SMEs, from the entrepreneurs that need funding, for instance, or those SMEs who are struggling to grow, and also to be able not to create this sort of competition between this or that different financial services, but to create a community that helps Europe to build, to grow, and it's essential that it's not two worlds apart. The European Parliament and the ecosystem. So that's why, as an association as yours, at the one that you are chairing, it's essential to help us do our job in the Parliament.
Yeah. That's one of the fun things about financial services. They touch everybody's life, and that's why your work in the Parliament is so important and why the dialogue is so important. But if I may ask you, which topic in financial services are you most passionate about?
For me, the most important is access to funding for entrepreneurs and for SMEs. Europe is a country of SMEs, but it's also a country of wonderful entrepreneurs who are finally traveling abroad, going outside of our borders, going to the US or other parts of the world to search for that funding. And I believe that we are perfectly capable in the EU to be able to provide that funding. And we need to change so many things in order to make that possible. So my main passion is to be able to create a Europe of entrepreneurs that are able to find the money, not only to start their business, but also to develop their business in Europe.
And if you take that, because I completely agree about that's the quintessence, the importance of financial services, what challenges do you see in our economy now going forward? Because a lot was done and we have a lot of things that we needed to do. We want to have a more sustainable economy. We need to go to net zero. We have the digital challenges. For entrepreneurs and for citizens, what do you see as the most significant challenges?
I think the most important thing is simplification of everything. We can apply it for savers, for instance, for small families that have been saving for a long time and now thinking on their retirement. We need to make it simpler for them to make the best of their savings. We need to make it simpler for entrepreneurs to go and find the money. We need to make it simpler for SMEs. Simplification. We've created a too complex and too bureaucratic Europe to do anything in it. So we need to make it simpler. We need to make it safe. We need to create a framework that is easy to comply with. But the thing is that we need to make life simpler.
Yeah.
And that means having access to finance, knowing what to do with your savings, being able to develop your project. That's what we really need to work.
Yeah, we have good ideas, but we want to make them perfect, and to make them perfect with 27 member states sometimes lead to complexity. And so to try to simplify is one, but we also had the Draghi and Letta reports. The Draghi report, which together with MEP Laluk you will now report on, and it's very important to execute that exactly as you have been saying, but also the Letta report and the Capital Markets Union. So really give access to citizens to other finance than just bank finance. What are your ideas on that?
I've been a champion for the CMU from my very first day in the Parliament. I believe that we really need to make it a reality, and you are right. We really need to get the Council on board. We don't have the Member States on board.
Yeah.
They, perhaps because they don't see it the way we do, they don't understand how important it is to help the savings in the European Union and make to be able to move from the bank accounts to funding projects, on how to make Europe attractive to foreign investment, but we are in the need to make the Council understand the importance of the completion of CMU. But we need a Commission to really put pressure over the Member States, and we need a Commission who is speaking with the industry, with everybody involved, being able to give the Member States the explanations and the tools they need to get involved in CMU. And that's a huge challenge for this term.
Yeah, it's a broader challenge indeed, because indeed the industry is speaking out, but also indeed, as you say, SMEs or others that want alternative finance, but also indeed some of the fintech angels or tech angels that we create really want more access. And as you say, the member states are often the problem. They agree with all of us, with the European institutions, the Commission and the industry on paper, but then when it lands in the Council, on the Council table, it's different. Do we need to do more, or are there other things that we can do to help them?
We need to do a lot, and actually you refer to the Draghi report and to the Letter report. There are many good ideas in those reports, but they need real commitment, real deadlines from the Member States, and it's in the Commission's hands to be able to put that roadmap with concrete deadlines for the Member States. And for me, the most important thing, the first step, is that we realize that we are competing in a global world. And if we still think as 27 different member states regarding financial regulation, all the big investments are going to go elsewhere. So we really need to think as European Union, as a single market, as Mr. Letta constantly refers to in his report. I think it's a good idea, for instance, the idea of the 28th member states in order to have a fast-track access for the companies. There are many ideas that we need to reflect, but the most important thing is that we need to stop thinking as 27 different member states, because if not, we lose our capacity to compete.
I
and then
fully agree.
we lose opportunities.
Yes. I remember Mr. Letta representing his reports and having many discussions with him, and one of the most simple but intelligent quotes from him was that he said, when the single market came, the member states misinterpreted it. They saw the single market as a place where they could sell their national products to others. And now we really need to have a real single market where we sell products to each other. As you say, not 27, but one unit.
Not only that we sell products to each other, which I totally agree with, but we can find each other. So it's essential that, for instance, a Spaniard can become a stakeholder of a German company or French company. We need to learn how to fund each other. And I think that's the key to really complete the single market.
You're absolutely right. Now, one last question to you, because again, you're very passionate on this. The simplification package, because we are good in making plans and now the execution. And you're very good in coming with ideas on execution. The simplification package, what should it focus on now first?
Well, the most important thing regarding simplification is that we understand that we cannot continue adding layers and layers and layers. So for me, it's very worrying the implementation process of so much legislation that was approved last term. So we really need to pay a lot of attention that doesn't mean more layers of bureaucracy. And another very important thing is that we need to have single supervision. We really need to work towards having single supervision to make it easier to comply with. If not, we'll be creating a nightmare for our, not only entrepreneurs and SMEs, but also the financial institutions and for the possible foreign investors that may want to come to the EU.
Yeah, I understand. And the EPFSF is for you a platform to debate this on.
It's a very, very useful platform with the key players that are part of the association. You bring knowledge. You bring us the advice we need in order to understand the technicalities, because sometimes this kind of regulation have a lot of technical parts that we policymakers don't know that well in depth, so it's essential. And also you give us the capacity to confront ideas, to meet with each other and confront ideas, and then together be able to deliver, hopefully, a better regulation.
Thank you very much. I am very honored that you are co-chair of the European Parliamentary Financial Services Forum. And after this interview, I can't wait to get to work with you. Thank you very much.
Looking forward to it. Thank you.